episode of CC Realty Show. The whole month of September, we took time just really focusing in on investing, but more about the market and investing. And for those that may not know, I love and I thrive on bringing the right information to the right people. And having met Trish and learning about her background and that she's been a general contractor for good 15 plus years, also in the property management space, it's like, oh my God, Trish, can you be on our show? And she said, oh my gosh, no. So I purposely have no makeup on and I have the gray hair. So for those that are watching, it's all good. It's all good. We have to have fun in life. So
well, you look great tonight, Michelle.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So
I'm sure I have paint on my face if you look hard enough.
Well, you know, and we make this very personal. Like for those that are watching, they're people that know us. You know, if they walk away with one little tip, I think there's value in that. And you know, and I'm just kind of, you know, I remember it was just not very long ago where you and I had a conversation around, we kind of get into the habit sometimes, and we all do it, of sometimes perceiving things a certain way where, oh, gee, you know, the industry is okay. I've usually seen more male do this, but not female, or, and I'm, hey, you tell me I can't do it. You watch me how well I'm going to do it. It fuels me, if you will. So, you know, I love all people, but we have a tendency to get in our own way. But, you know, when just the mere fact of learning that you've got that ability, I was inspired. I was impressed, inspired, and almost like, gee, can we go build a house together? Like, I think I value that because I don't have that. I've not really been exposed to that. So that kind of being said, who is Trish?
Oh my goodness. I mean, what can I say? No, you know what? I honestly love what I do. I get the opportunity to see multitudes of different properties, and there's not one property that's ever the same. No job that's the same as the last one I've done. I just always walk away and feel amazed at what I did. I can turn something terrible into something phenomenal. So I honestly love what I do.
So I gotta ask, like, what inspired you? I mean, you know, we kind of go through life and you go through adults, okay, fine, you go through school, some go the traditional, some get out there and work. We all have interesting and experience that we bring into the next kind of chapter of our lives. So when did you realize that's kind of what you want to get into? Or how did you get into it?
Honestly, I'm impatient. So
you know, I relate to that.
So if there's something I need done or want done, and I make a phone call to the plumber and he's like, well, I need 4 days. It's like, well, I wanted this done now. So, you know, I had to teach myself how to do lots of different things, but truly because I'm impatient. That's how I got into it. And then it started off just helping people, and then referred out and just built my business from there and grew and grew. And now I'm running around with my head cut off. So it's good. It's a good thing, right?
That's a good challenge to have. I say, you know, there's the aspect of managing it because everybody wants you and you got pulled in many directions, but it's also a really, I have my father wasn't the most handiest. He was a perfectionist, but he wasn't, and he was a happy-go-lucky, more of a coach and a teacher. But you know, you teach a man to fish versus, you know, just lead with the all they make. It really is about that. And when you can bring that kind of value to people, they care. And it's amazing because there's very few people that have those skill sets. And I love the fact that you're very humble about it because you're very, very good. And it is very true. Like we've had, working with clients right now. So, in the real estate, it's a good example. There's a number of our clients that they would, they know that they might need to do a bit of work to their property to get it kind of buyer ready. And this is something that I'm very, very passionate about. If like this is an industry in the real estate side, if we are in the process of helping somebody sell a home, why would we just do disvalue to that person and just, okay, well, let's just hurry up and get it on the market and, hope for the best? No, let's get that home ready. Let's get the most amount, usually 99%, that's what they want. And let's run it professionally, which means that might need a bit of work. And that's why I always say, we want to speak to our client, our customers way early on in the process to help them get the home ready. And, that sometimes that could be putting back a room. Maybe they converted a room and maybe we need to put it back to what it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
So tell me, so you've been doing this for some time, and I know you are well sought after, kind of in and around, basically, around the just GTA surrounding area, because I know you'll go to Kitchener, to Brampton, to Burlington, to Hamilton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the Columba, the insurance company is just going sideways. And just like, how many kilometers are you putting on in a year? It's like, do I have to tell? Sorry, you were going to ask me
so what I want to know is, what has been, and I'm going to make sure we don't run out of battery. 1 second here. Just gotta. Okay. For insurance, not insurance. I gotta get my brain in the right gear here. You've been doing this for some time. Mm-hmm. What was the most challenging project you've ever done?
That's not in my own house. So I recently, at the beginning of the pandemic, I got a call from a client who, I purchased a home, and they were very particular at what they wanted. And it kind of started off with something simple, and the longer I was there, the more I was taking out of the home. So literally basically ripped it right down to the studs and started from scratch. And wasn't that old of a house, but it's what the client wants. So, okay, but that one was interesting. I've seen a lot of different things, putting I put my foot through the floor. Those are always interesting. Yeah.
Like where you're actually just walking in and all of a sudden the foot goes through the floor?
Oh, no, I think it was a build up, and then you just kind of, and they were trying to show me, and then it's like, you just see it bowing and you're like, oh, okay, you just get out. I'm just going to rip this up. Right. I don't know. I see a lot of different things. Parquet flooring is probably my most interesting challenge to deal with. It's beautiful flooring. I love sanding it down to its original and bringing it back to life. But when you have damaged parquet flooring, just rip it up. But everybody wants to keep it. So it's I get some interesting stuff. Animals are always the ones I dread the most.
Animals in that animals have done damage to the property, or animals in that I've gone into the property and raccoons decided to make my
I'm not a fan of wildlife. I grew up in the country, so I like sheep, horses, cattle, but these wildlife, they take over, and every once in a while, you go into a place and you can see the mouse holes, or heaven forbid something bigger. And you're just like, oh my gosh, please, you pray that you see nothing, because I think I would die.
Yeah, I hear what you say. It's we've my husband grew up in the country, but not in Canada, and it was in a much warmer climate. So you fast forward, and the area that we live in, for some time it was a bit of open field, but things have built up. So of course, at one time, a number of years ago, we had a neighbor Trish, that, bless them, they were putting they were basically feeding all the animals, and all the animals are coming. We're like, no, don't do that. Sure enough, more mice, more this, more that. And he decided to get really creative, and we don't back onto anybody. So he decided to, I'm just going to go have a little, I'm just going to go, release a little bit out here and make sure that they can pick up my scent. And you know what? They don't come around.
Oh my God. Nice.
So I just, you know what? It is what it is. Whatever's gonna, hey, that's
whatever works, right?
Whatever works. It's natural, right? It's like a dog scent. It's gonna. So, but it's really good. Yeah. So with from what you do, can you give us maybe a little bit more insight into, you've done everything from flooring to drywall.
Yep.
To
I don't do roofs. I contract that out. Okay. I do work with a team. A great team, people I trust in. It's not a very big team. I find too many people, it becomes babysitting, and that's why I stick with my strengths with the people I have. And so one of them is a roofer, and he's phenomenal. He'll come out and he'll help me do the subfloors, and all the stuff that I got to be down on my hands and knees doing. Is like, oh, we're not getting any younger.
Yep.
So, and he's younger than me, so it works out. But yeah, no, ceiling repairs, flooring, stairs, capping, doors, everything from fire.
And I apologize, and I don't mind. I just want to say hello to my daughter, who just came home from Thanksgiving University. So
nice.
Yeah. And you know what? We're in a real world. It's I remember doing this show once a few weeks back, and we're in the middle of an offer. So the phone rang. Okay, just a second here, and then we're back on. So do you know from the kind of work that you do, Trish, have you been brought in to kind of help maybe anybody kind of fix up their property because they're getting it ready, maybe to go to market, or it's just sort of, no, we're in the process of maintaining and we just need these things fixed? Or
well, so like I'll do, not to list per se to sell. I've done a couple, and it's usually, honestly, it's usually just a fresh coat of paint is all they need. Very, very basic, or patch this hole, very simple. I do a lot of turnovers for apartment buildings all over like Brampton, Hamilton, wherever. That's where it gets nitty gritty with the workload that is required before somebody moves in. But more so, I would say after the home is purchased, somebody goes in, loves the layout of the home, doesn't like what they're seeing. Okay. So it's like the floor's got to go, or the color needs to go, or we want French doors here. And so
just they put their touch on. I mean, and that's so
exactly.
I say, and actually it's interesting because I'm working with a couple of people, and sure enough, a few questions came up, and one of them was like, so I thought, yeah, we've got a general contractor. I can give, because I'm definitely going to be, anywhere if I can bring it in. And offer you, I will do that, because they've never, like, they don't have the time. They've never, some of them just putting in new light fixtures or ceiling fan or what it may be, but they've
absolutely. I love those ones. They're always the simplest. It's like just something, just a tweak, and sometimes that's all you need.
Yes,
it's like people can't, or they don't want to. It's like me. I can't. The kitchen. Like, I dread the kitchen. It's like, it'll be the last room I renovate because I don't go in it. I can't cook worth anything. My kids would tell you that through and through. But so I don't like to cook. So I would either order it, have somebody, or something simple. So, and there's people, I've had people call me to come and change doorknobs out. It seems so minuscule, but it's one of those things. It's like, whether the client has shaky hands or you just don't know the situation, or deadbolts. Simple enough, but it's the concept that they just don't know.
And you know,
Just don't understand.
I really value what you just shared there, because very similar, Trish. I've been, you know, I've been in this industry for a few years now, and a lot of people would say, you know, oh, your background doesn't matter. I'm like, yes, it does. You don't just undo who you are, but you want to bring the positive transferable skills into it. And and as I kind of got into the industry and I did more, and I realized, you know, people don't know what they don't know. There's a lot of this assuming, or I would see a lot of the, you know, dial for dollar that just drives me crazy, because that's not long-term thinking. People get bored of that, if you will. I'd rather be able to, I don't want the pond, I want the ocean. And if I want the ocean, I'm going to do it long-term thinking, do the right things the right way. So there's just this assumption that people think, you know, we assume, I would say. So it's kind of the same, Trisha. A lot of people, I don't know how to do. There's a numerous things that I've got my husband and my daughter right now that are like, they're putting up some drywall and they're putting in a room downstairs in the basement for a few things. And, you know, my husband's just meticulous. So there's something, and, you know, just concern, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, concerned about what? It's like, but I see this stuff. And I know in the back of my mind, and honestly, Trisha, I was even thinking in the back of my mind, I might just even let you know about it, just to make sure, you know, because it's like
let them do it, and then I'll come over for a glass of wine, and you can show me the room.
Something of that sort. Absolutely, absolutely. You know, and I love this, because you give an enormous amount of inspiration for females. You know, we're in a world where we're fine. Like, you know, we can look at this world right now and we can sit here and complain about everything, or we can really look at it and see about all the wonderful opportunities, because at the end of the day, none of us know. So I'd rather work in now, and you, just by you doing what you're doing, are inspiring. By you doing what you're doing, it's an inspiration for so many women.
I love the reaction. I love the reaction I get. Every once in a while, I have somebody, they'll open a door and it's like, can I help you? It's like, yeah, you wanted that light fixture installed. I'm here to install it. Like, what? Like, it's just, you know, I actually take it as a compliment. I love it. So
I think that's the absolute kind of best way to be. So if you were going to, I'm going to put you in a little bit of a scenario. So Trisha's on her way to speak to some grade 12 students. And these students have opportunity to kind of go trades path. They could go the academia path, and half of them, and the scenario is we are short of good trade. So what would be the top 3 things that Trish would convey to them that you feel that's important to you, that you think they should know?
I think any student at that age who is interested in trades has always had an interest. Like, I really believe that somebody who really likes trades loves doing it. Like, I don't know too many people who don't love their job, whether in the aspect of trades. I also know lots of people who aren't in trades who love their job as well. So I would never discourage anybody, but trades will always be there. People need help. And it's no different than a nurse. You know, you're the doctor to their home, one way or another. Which trades? That's a tough one, because trades typically pay, you know, fairly well. I know last time I had to call an electrician, I was just like, scratch my head. I was like, how? I'm like, I might have to up my rates. So, you know, plumbers, but it's a shitty job. No pun intended.
Literally.
So, but there's risks, right? So, you know, electricians, I don't know any electricians who haven't been electrocuted. Plumbers, you know, you're dealing with nastiness, and so that's why I'm content doing what I do. I don't have to see the nitty gritty. I'll pop the toilet up, but yeah, you know what? If anything be in there, that's not on me. I'm not getting my hands dirty.
No, but you know what? And again, I'm going to, you know, very transparent and value, and kind of similar in a little bit of what I do on a regular. Yeah, I'm a realtor, but I'm more of I want to, but I love to build, to be able to, and I understand what capabilities are. What are the key things when you're running any business? And I find a lot of people come into real estate where there's a massive lack of information out there that really educate people that it's more than sales, it's more than marketing, it's operations, and you're going to get real busy, and then you're going to run around, and it's like, oh my gosh, and it's like, that's really what. Whereas if you understand all that, you build it more like a business. But what does that mean? Well, you get to determine what does that capability look like, and who are the kind of people, and how we work together, and really, really kind of help set it up so that people are really kind of doing more and more of what they love to do. Really.
No, I absolutely agree. Like I'm a believer that if somebody is interested in trades, find the trade that suits you best, that you love doing. I love painting. I absolutely love it. I could paint, like, I absolutely love it. You have a fresh canvas when I'm done, and you can do whatever you want to decorate it. Like I truly love to paint. And there's a lot of people who don't like to paint, and that's okay. Keeps me busy. But the key is enjoy what you do when it comes to the trades, because if you don't, and you put yourself out there, you're not going to do good work. And when you aren't doing good work, you're costing somebody twice the price, because now they got to hire somebody to do it right. And second of all is you just don't, there's no care, there's no love in what you do. And if it's like, oh, I got to lay another floor, and you just ram it in, and it just,
and it should,
it does show.
Yeah. And it just kind of brings a negative energy across the board. I've always,
and there's always risk too. You know, if you don't put the wall up properly in the basement, you know, and as the house settles and it shifts, like, you cause major damage. Flooring, you know, you don't properly put that subfloor in, you know, you're going to have problems down the road, or a roof that leaks. Like, there's always consequences for work that's not done properly. So that would be my big thing. Find something you love and run with it. You know, you'll learn things as you go, and you might love that too, but always have that one that you appreciate the most.
Yeah, and that resonates. It's, I mean, we're out there on a regular basis, and you know, you see a million different types of homes. And the more you look at it, the more you start to notice, ooh, I don't know about that. Oh, I looked at one the other day. We went out to a client, and it was Smithfield. It's out in Smithfield. And the home was about 20 odd. The home was probably, I think it was about 30 plus years, maybe 35 years old. And it used to be a bungalow. And what they had ended up doing is they put an addition on it. So that's great. But you walk up, and all of a sudden I'm looking right on the one side, and I'm like, what is it warping? I don't know about that. And these are, you know, I always say, peel an onion back. Let's, and when we're representing clients, that's what we're doing. We're peeling it back. Vice versa, when we're on the south side, let's figure everything all out so that we don't have anything, oh my God, a surprise, and that we understand, and we, you know, remedy so that you're getting the most. If you mitigate your risks, it's just a much easier path.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, and we need more people like you, Trish. We need people that care. You know, this trades industry, I remember back way a number of years ago, people really put their heart and soul into it. And then eventually, you know, there was a lot of mass production, and we have a lot of, you know, there's good developers. We work with a few of them, but there's some of those cookie cutters as well. Yeah. And, you know, and I've always kind of believed that it doesn't take much to get back to doing it right. It doesn't take much to being a good general contractor and treating your people right.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's amazing. And I always knew this, and this is very interesting because I spent a lot of years in the corporate world, and it doesn't take much, but as long as it's done at the top, and they move a little, and they give a little bit, and they actually believe in their people, and they care, people are energy. That's what I've always said. We're not hierarchical, we're energy. Systems are, you know, I mean, systems can be hierarchical, but not people. You start putting people in that hierarchical rank, and you're not always going to get people doing the above and beyond, because it takes a few to come together to make it do right. And the trades, and that's, of course, that leads me kind of my other final kind of question, if you will. In your opinion, if you had an opportunity to come up with a model whereby we'd be able to have a little bit more, I guess, access to good tradespeople, because that's the one thing I always hear. It's a shortage.
Yeah.
There's a shortage. What would you recommend? What would you do differently to see that time is spent more effectively?
What would okay, so let me get to the
Well, we
question
know
right.
there's a shortage of really good people in trades. Okay.
Mhm.
We also know that a good general contractor that works, knows the team, that's what makes it. It's really about that leadership.
Yeah.
We know there's a shortage. So if you had the ability, all the money in the world, all the power, all that kind of stuff, what would you do? Like, do you see a gap where
Run. That's what I do. I would run, Michelle. I would run for my life, run for the hills. To have better contractors.
Yeah, so I'll put this together a little differently.
Okay.
So right now in Ontario, we have a shortage of homes. We've had a shortage of homes for almost a couple of years. And based on, because we look at the data, right? I really want to know how much inventory in Ontario, what are the resales, what's pre-construction, how many in the cities that we're focused in, okay, what's coming up? And then we've got a few developers that we work with. And then we are now developing out in Halifax. So based on that, I do know that, there's great developers, but they have crews, and these crews don't always work with just these developers. And then all of a sudden you run through a shortage, and then you have just, okay, how can I find a really good tradesperson? So
yeah,
they hop years, a shortage. Where, how do we fix that?
That's a tough one, because I do know people, other contractors who, they have their crew, but yeah, their crew, I could see their crew today, and next month it would be a completely different. So, and some of them are good, but money sways people, or some people don't like to be micromanaged. There's a respect when it comes to being able to manage people and making sure they're good work. When I go and I bring my crew out, no matter what they're doing, even if it's a roof, I might not get up on that roof, but I'm there. And because at the end of the day, it's my ask. So, so if something's going to go south, I'm fully responsible. To encourage people to be better tradesmen, that's hard. That's like saying, a shady car salesman, how can I make that guy be better? Well,
better leadership, maybe.
Yeah.
Better.
I think it comes down to the triangle is like the top, and whoever's on top, and shit flows downstream, unfortunately. And was like, okay, censor that. But it does. And if you're not treating people properly, they are going to go elsewhere, and they take their bad habits or good habits and they go somewhere else, and somebody else is going to benefit from it. So there's lots of things we can do to have people stay. There's a lot of people who don't like the needling. That's what I call it. It's like, stop needling me. But they don't like that, and they just run. They literally run. This is not for me. And who knows where they end up. Hopefully something else that they thought or think that they want to do. But it's people. Like, no matter what, like, even when I'm doing an empty home, I still had to deal with somebody to get there, or a referral. It's oh my gosh, some referrals are great. Most referrals are fantastic, but every once in a while you get one and you're just like, oh, it's like, I'm dealing with one of those right now with a deck, and I'm just like, she's so hard to please, but I just smile, and because you know what, she's right. Whatever you want, sure. You want me to redo the whole thing? No problem. Like, I got nothing better to do.
And I so understand what you're saying, because I've been in this space for, like I said, a few years, but even had the opportunity. I mean, I've worked with thousands and thousands of people. I've worked with people globally, and then and we all love to sort of say, oh, we're different. Yeah, sure, but you know what? We really want to peel it all back. Everybody wants to feel part of something.
Absolutely. And yes.
Yeah. And we're going to think about ourselves, because that is the human, that's, kind of where we are. That's just how our brains are wired. but we all want to feel part of something. So it doesn't matter who we're speaking to and where we are. It's just that inclusiveness. There's a lot of, there's validity behind all of that.
Yeah, you know what? Absolutely. I would totally agree with that, because I remember, like, before I was doing this on my own, working for a company, and there's no gratitude, no nothing. So it's like, when you're not getting that, it's like, what am I going to stick around for? Do you hear?
Yeah.
So
I totally agree. So I am not going to keep you much longer, because I know, yeah, no worries. And I'm so thrilled that you were good to come on board. Thank you. And oh my God, love you dearly. I got paint on my face. I'm like, okay, I won't wear lipstick.
yeah, no, honestly, you called me and I was like, oh my goodness, like, yeah, I don't even know what the heck that's from today.
Oh, I love it.
It's been a day.
You know what? I just want to bless you. Thank you for coming on board. And for those that are watching, as I keep conveying, we are CC Realty Group. We're with Keller Williams. And if you have, if you want a really good contractor, if you have any needs, and just so those that are watching may be a bit more familiar. I mean, we manage about 120 properties, and anybody, when we say we have a full service team. So if anybody needs any work done, whatever it may be, we're pretty easy to find. Just put in CC Realty Group and you'll find us. So just have an awesome evening. I absolutely want to have you back. Okay. And
Michelle, I appreciate the invitation. So
just on that note, and everybody that's watching, have a very blessed evening. It's I always wonder what day it is, but it's Thursday today. And have an awesome evening. You go enjoy your family. And I'm going to go enjoy my daughter that's home from university.
All right. Well, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. And happy Thanksgiving. And for those that are watching, just have a very blessed, safe, just stay safe, folks, and have a blessed, happy Thanksgiving. Okay. All right. We'll see you guys later. Bye, Trish. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Michelle.